South Korea's economy is one of the most dynamic and successful in the world, transforming itself from a war-torn nation into a global powerhouse within just a few decades. This rapid development has earned South Korea recognition as one of the four Asian tigers due to its significant economic growth in the late 20th century. Its economy is characterized by high-tech industries, robust international trade, and a significant presence of conglomerates known as chaebols. Companies like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG have become global leaders in technology and manufacturing, propelling the country into the ranks of the world's most advanced economies. However, South Korea's economic success is not without challenges, including growing inequality, an aging population, and evolving global trade dynamics. The primary objective of this study is to provide a comprehensive analysis of the South Korean economy by examining its historical development, key industries, and current trends. This research aims to dig deep into the factors that have contributed to South Korea's economic success, while also identifying the challenges it faces in maintaining sustainable growth in an increasingly competitive global market. By doing so, this study seeks to offer insights into the policies and strategies that can help South Korea navigate future economic hurdles and continue its trajectory of growth. Additionally, this analysis will explore the implications of South Korea's economic model for other developing nations. To achieve these objectives, a mixed method approach has been adopted, utilizing both quantitative data and qualitative insights. The study draws on a variety of sources, including government reports, industry analyses, academic literature, and economic data from international organizations such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The methodology involves analyzing key economic indicators such as GDP growth, unemployment rates, trade balances, and inflation, while also considering socio-political factors that influence the economic landscape. By employing this approach, the study aims to offer a well-rounded and in-depth perspective on South Korea's economy, past and present. South Korea's economic journey is often referred to as a miracle due to the country's remarkable transformation following the devastation of the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. After the war, South Korea was left in ruins, with its infrastructure destroyed and its economy in shambles. At that time, South Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world, heavily dependent on foreign aid, particularly from the United States. The post-war period marked the beginning of a concerted effort by the South Korean government to rebuild its economy from the ground up. With strong leadership and a clear vision for development, South Korea embraced a strategy that focused on industrialization, education, and the creation of an export-driven economy. The government, under the leadership of President Park Chung-hee, implemented a series of 5-year economic plans that laid the groundwork for rapid growth and modernization. This period saw significant investments in infrastructure, technology, and education, which would later form the backbone of the country's economic success. By the 1970s and 1980s, South Korea had established itself as a major industrial power, with a focus on heavy industries such as steel, shipbuilding, and automobile manufacturing. The government's focus on export-led growth was central to this transformation. South Korea's economic model was based on producing goods for export, primarily to developed countries such as the United States and Japan. This strategy was supported by the creation of large conglomerates, or chaebols, which received substantial government support and played a key role in driving economic growth. These conglomerates, including Samsung, Hyundai, and LG, became household names globally and transformed South Korea into a major player in industries such as electronics, automobiles, and semiconductors. The country's shift towards high-tech industries in the 1980s and 1990s further solidified its position as one of the world's most advanced economies. By focusing on innovation and technology, South Korea was able to diversify its economy and reduce its dependence on traditional manufacturing sectors. However, South Korea's economic success was not without its setbacks. In 1997, the country was hit hard by the Asian financial crisis, which exposed structural weaknesses in its economy. The crisis caused a sharp decline in the value of the Korean won, and many businesses, including some of the largest chaebols, faced bankruptcy. The South Korean government was forced to seek assistance from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and implemented a series of austerity measures and economic reforms to stabilize the economy. These reforms included restructuring the financial sector, improving corporate governance, and increasing transparency in business practices. Despite the severity of the crisis, South Korea managed to recover relatively quickly, and by the early 2000s, it had regained its position as a leading global economy. The lessons learned from the crisis helped to shape South Korea's economic policies in the following decades, leading to a more resilient and diversified economy that is better equipped to handle future challenges. South Korea's economy is deeply rooted in its robust manufacturing and heavy industries, which continue to play a crucial role in driving economic growth. Historically, industries such as shipbuilding, steel, and automotive manufacturing were the pillars of the country's rapid development in the 20th century. Today, these sectors remain vital, although they have evolved significantly, with a strong focus on high-quality production and technological integration. South Korean automakers like Hyundai and Kia are global competitors, while the country remains one of the world's top producers of ships and steel. These industries have also embraced environmental sustainability, as South Korean companies are investing in green technologies and energy-efficient production methods to remain competitive in a global economy that increasingly values sustainability. The government has supported this shift by encouraging investment in renewable energy and green innovation within these traditional sectors. One of the most remarkable aspects of South Korea's economic success is the rise of its technology and innovation sector, which is closely tied to the dominance of chaebols, large family-owned business conglomerates. Samsung, LG, and SK Group are key players in the global technology market, leading innovations in electronics, semiconductors, and telecommunications. Samsung, in particular, is a leader in smartphone manufacturing and chip production, supplying components to major tech companies around the world. South Korea's technological advancements extend beyond consumer electronics to areas like robotics, artificial intelligence, AI, and biotechnology, where significant investments are being made to position the country as a global tech hub. The government's support of research and development, R&D, along with a highly educated workforce, has been instrumental in maintaining the country's competitive edge. Furthermore, South Korea is at the forefront of 5G network deployment, making it a leader in the digital transformation that is reshaping industries worldwide. The service sector in South Korea has grown rapidly over the past few decades, contributing a significant portion to the country's GDP. This sector encompasses a wide range of industries, including finance, retail, tourism, and entertainment. The rise of the Korean wave, Hallyu, encompassing K-pop, K-dramas, and Korean cinema, has turned South Korea into a cultural powerhouse, boosting tourism and creating global demand for South Korean media and consumer products. The entertainment industry is a major contributor to the economy, as global streaming platforms and international tours by K-pop groups like BTS and Blackpink have expanded South Korea's cultural reach. In addition, South Korea's financial services industry is well developed, with strong banks and a growing fintech sector that is embracing digital currencies, online payments, and blockchain technology. The country's vibrant consumer market, driven by tech-savvy and fashion-conscious consumers, continues to evolve, especially with the rise of e-commerce, which has seen rapid growth during the COVID-19 pandemic. Agriculture and fisheries, while less prominent than other sectors, still play an important role in South Korea's economy, particularly in rural areas. Despite the country's relatively small arable land area and challenges related to its mountainous terrain, South Korea has developed a modern agricultural industry. The government has invested in agricultural technology, such as precision farming and smart agriculture, to improve efficiency and sustainability. This is particularly important as South Korea faces the challenges of an aging rural population and declining farm labor. South Korea is also a significant player in the fisheries sector, with a long history of fishing and seafood production. The country has adapted to changing environmental conditions and international competition by modernizing its fisheries and investing in sustainable aquaculture practices. South Korean seafood exports, including products like seaweed and fish, remain competitive in global markets, especially in neighboring Asian countries. While each of these sectors continues to contribute to South Korea's overall economic strength, the country is also increasingly focusing on sustainability and technological innovation to secure its future. With growing challenges such as climate change, an aging population, and global economic uncertainty, South Korea's ability to adapt and evolve these key sectors will be critical in maintaining its status as one of the world's leading economies. South Korea's economy remains heavily reliant on exports, which have been the driving force behind its growth for several decades. The country's export-driven model focuses on manufacturing high-value products, including electronics, automobiles, and petrochemicals, which are sold globally. In recent years, South Korea has diversified its export base to include sectors like pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, and green energy technologies, aligning with global trends toward sustainability and digital transformation. Despite external pressures such as global trade tensions and supply chain disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, South Korea's exports have shown resilience, bolstered by strong demand for semiconductors and technology products. The semiconductor industry, in particular, has become a cornerstone of South Korea's economy, with companies like Samsung and SK Hynix leading the global market. These industries have helped South Korea maintain a competitive edge in an increasingly interconnected global economy. South Korea's economic success is also tied to its strategic trade partnerships and international agreements. The country has signed free trade agreements, FTAs, with numerous countries, including major economies like the United States, the European Union, and China. These agreements have opened up new markets for South Korean products, while also ensuring access to vital raw materials and technology. China remains South Korea's largest trading partner, accounting for a significant portion of its exports, followed closely by the United States and Japan. Despite ongoing geopolitical tensions, particularly with Japan and China, South Korea has managed to maintain stable trade relations, recognizing the importance of these partnerships for its economy. In addition to bilateral agreements, South Korea is also part of multilateral frameworks, such as the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, which includes many of its Asian neighbors, providing it with greater access to regional markets. South Korea plays a critical role in the global supply chain, particularly in the production of high-tech components like semiconductors, displays, and batteries. Its advanced manufacturing capabilities, coupled with a highly skilled workforce, have positioned South Korea as a key player in industries that are essential for global technology infrastructure. The country's semiconductor industry is particularly important, as South Korea supplies a significant portion of the world's memory chips used in smartphones, computers, and other electronic devices. However, the global supply chain has faced considerable challenges in recent years, from chip shortages to geopolitical tensions. As a result, South Korea has been working to strengthen its supply chain resilience by diversifying its supply sources and investing in domestic production capabilities. Furthermore, the South Korean government has made it a priority to build stronger trade ties with emerging markets in Southeast Asia and South America, ensuring that its role in the global economy remains secure amidst shifting geopolitical landscapes and evolving trade dynamics. South Korea's labor market has undergone significant changes in recent years, shaped by a mix of economic growth, demographic shifts, and global trends. The country's employment rate remains relatively high, with a strong demand for workers in sectors such as manufacturing, technology, and services. However, South Korea is also experiencing a demographic shift due to its aging population and declining birth rates, which are putting pressure on the labor force. To counterbalance this trend, the government has implemented various measures to encourage higher participation rates among underrepresented groups, such as women and older workers. Additionally, advancements in automation and artificial intelligence are reshaping industries, leading to both job creation in high-tech sectors and potential job displacement in traditional industries. The South Korean labor force faces several challenges, particularly with regard to the increasing polarization between high-skilled and low-skilled jobs. While sectors like technology and finance are booming, offering high wages and job security, many workers in low-skilled positions, especially in the service industry, face precarious employment conditions, lower wages, and limited opportunities for advancement. Another pressing challenge is the high level of competition for jobs, particularly among recent university graduates. South Korea has one of the most educated workforces in the world, but this has created an oversupply of highly qualified workers competing for a limited number of positions, leading to frustration and a high youth unemployment rate. Furthermore, the rise of temporary and contract work, driven by corporate cost-cutting measures, has resulted in greater job insecurity for many workers, making stable, long-term employment more difficult to secure. Gender and youth employment issues continue to be significant concerns in the South Korean labor market. While there has been progress in increasing the participation of women in the workforce, a large gender gap persists, particularly in leadership positions and wage equality. Many women still face barriers in balancing career and family, which is exacerbated by the country's traditionally conservative work culture. The government has introduced policies aimed at improving work-life balance, such as expanded parental leave and childcare support, but progress has been slow. Meanwhile, youth unemployment remains a critical issue, with many young people struggling to find full-time, secure employment despite high educational attainment. The mismatch between the skills that young people acquire and the demands of the labor market has created a youth employment crisis, leading some to take on part-time or temporary jobs while they search for better opportunities. Addressing these issues is essential for ensuring the long-term sustainability of South Korea's labor market. South Korea's government has played an active role in shaping the country's economic success through strategic industrial policies and long-term economic planning. Historically, the government directed resources towards key industries such as steel, shipbuilding, and electronics, fostering the growth of the chaebols that helped drive the country's rapid industrialization. In recent years, the focus has shifted towards fostering innovation in high-tech sectors, including semiconductors, biotechnology, and renewable energy. The government's K-New Deal policy, launched in response to global economic challenges, emphasizes green and digital industries as the pillars of future growth. This includes investments in smart cities, electric vehicles, and 5G infrastructure, positioning South Korea as a leader in the global digital economy. At the same time, the government continues to support small and medium enterprises, SMEs, to reduce reliance on the chaebols and encourage more balanced economic development. Taxation and fiscal policies in South Korea have evolved to address the challenges of an aging population, income inequality, and the need for sustainable growth. South Korea has one of the lowest tax-to-GDP ratios among OECD countries, but the government has been gradually raising taxes to finance increased social welfare spending. Recently, the government introduced tax incentives for businesses that invest in research and development, R&D, and green technologies, reflecting its focus on innovation and environmental sustainability. Additionally, progressive income tax reforms have been implemented to reduce inequality, with higher tax rates for the wealthiest individuals. However, South Korea's tax system remains relatively modest compared to other advanced economies, creating challenges in funding the country's growing social welfare programs. The government is under pressure to strike a balance between maintaining economic competitiveness and addressing the rising fiscal demands of its aging population. In response to rising inequality and the demands of an aging society, South Korea has significantly expanded its social welfare programs in recent years. Public spending on health care, pensions, and unemployment benefits has increased as the government seeks to build a more inclusive social safety net. The introduction of a national minimum wage and increased protections for temporary and contract workers are part of broader efforts to reduce poverty and improve job security. However, South Korea still faces challenges in creating a fully comprehensive welfare state, particularly given its fast-aging population and the financial strain this places on public pensions and health services. As a result, the government is exploring options to make the social welfare system more sustainable, such as raising the retirement age and increasing contributions to the pension system. Moreover, the COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the need for government intervention in areas like public health and economic support, prompting further reforms to strengthen South Korea's social safety net while balancing the demands of fiscal responsibility. South Korea's financial system is a well-developed and highly regulated structure that has evolved significantly since the Asian financial crisis of the late 1990s. The crisis exposed vulnerabilities in the banking sector, prompting extensive reforms to strengthen financial institutions and enhance regulatory oversight. Today, South Korea's financial system is dominated by a mix of commercial banks, investment banks, and insurance companies, all under the supervision of the Financial Services Commission, FSC, and the Financial Supervisory Service, FSS. The country's financial institutions are known for their stability and soundness, with a strong focus on digital innovation. In recent years, South Korea has embraced financial technology, fintech, with the rapid growth of digital banking, mobile payments, and blockchain technology. These innovations are reshaping the way financial services are delivered, making South Korea one of the leading nations in the adoption of fintech solutions. As the country continues to integrate these digital platforms, the financial system remains resilient and adaptive to global trends. The Bank of Korea, BOK, South Korea's central bank, plays a critical role in ensuring the stability of the financial system and managing monetary policy. Established in 1950, the BOK's primary objective is to maintain price stability while supporting sustainable economic growth. The bank also monitors the health of the financial system and oversees the country's payment systems. In response to the economic uncertainties caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing global economic volatility, the Bank of Korea has taken proactive steps to ensure liquidity in the financial markets. This includes lowering interest rates and implementing quantitative easing measures to support the economy. Additionally, the BOK has been closely monitoring the impacts of digital currencies and is exploring the potential issuance of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, to modernize the financial system further and meet the needs of a rapidly digitizing economy. Monetary policy in South Korea has been flexible and adaptive, aimed at achieving a balance between supporting economic growth and controlling inflation. Interest rates have been a key tool in this process. In recent years, the BOK has maintained relatively low interest rates to stimulate growth, especially during periods of economic slowdown and external shocks like the pandemic. However, inflationary pressures and rising global interest rates have posed challenges for policymakers. As global central banks, including the U.S. Federal Reserve, have tightened monetary policy to combat inflation, the BOK has been compelled to raise interest rates cautiously to prevent capital outflows and protect the value of the Korean won. Managing these competing forces, stimulating domestic growth while keeping inflation under control, remains one of the central challenges for South Korea's monetary policy. The bank's future decisions will be crucial in navigating the economic uncertainties while maintaining financial stability in an increasingly interconnected global economy. South Korea faces significant challenges related to its aging population and shrinking workforce. As one of the fastest-aging societies in the world, South Korea's birth rate has hit record lows, creating demographic imbalances that threaten long-term economic growth. The country's working-age population is shrinking, which could lead to labor shortages in critical sectors, increased pressure on social security systems, and a heavier fiscal burden on the younger population to support the growing elderly population. The government has introduced policies aimed at increasing labor participation, including encouraging more women and elderly individuals to remain in or rejoin the workforce, and offering incentives for families to have more children. However, these efforts have seen limited success, and the looming demographic crisis remains a central challenge for South Korea's future economic development. Addressing this issue will require more innovative approaches, potentially including increased immigration, greater automation, and continued reforms to make the workplace more flexible and family-friendly. Technological advancements and automation present both opportunities and challenges for South Korea. On one hand, South Korea is well positioned to capitalize on its technological prowess, particularly in areas like robotics, artificial intelligence, and digital technologies. Automation and AI have the potential to mitigate the effects of a shrinking workforce by improving productivity and efficiency across industries. For instance, South Korean companies are leading the way in developing advanced robotics for manufacturing and services, which could help alleviate labor shortages. However, this rapid technological shift also brings challenges, particularly for low-skilled workers who may face job displacement as industries automate tasks that were once performed by humans. The government and private sector will need to invest in education and retraining programs to ensure that workers can transition into new roles within a more tech-driven economy. Promoting lifelong learning and skill development will be crucial in managing the social and economic impacts of technological disruption. Climate change and sustainability concerns are becoming increasingly important for South Korea's future economic strategy. As a major industrial nation, South Korea has contributed significantly to global greenhouse gas emissions, and it is now under pressure to transition to a more sustainable and environmentally friendly economy. The government has launched the Korean New Deal, which includes a strong emphasis on green initiatives, such as renewable energy, electric vehicles, and carbon neutrality by 2050. South Korean industries, especially those involved in manufacturing and heavy industry, will need to adapt to stricter environmental regulations and global expectations for sustainability. At the same time, this transition presents opportunities for South Korea to become a leader in green technologies, such as hydrogen energy, solar power, and electric mobility. Investing in these sectors could create new jobs and industries, positioning South Korea at the forefront of the global green economy. However, achieving these sustainability goals will require significant public and private investment, as well as a clear policy framework to guide the transition. Geopolitical tensions and trade barriers continue to be major external risks for South Korea's economy. As a country heavily reliant on international trade, South Korea is particularly vulnerable to global trade disruptions, protectionist policies, and geopolitical conflicts. Ongoing tensions between the United States and China, South Korea's two largest trading partners, have created uncertainty in global supply chains, forcing South Korean businesses to diversify their export markets and supply sources. Moreover, territorial and historical disputes with neighboring Japan, as well as the unpredictable security situation with North Korea, add additional layers of complexity to South Korea's geopolitical environment. In response, the South Korean government has been actively seeking to strengthen trade relationships with emerging markets, such as Southeast Asia and Latin America, to reduce dependence on its traditional trade partners. While geopolitical challenges will remain a significant concern, South Korea's ability to navigate these risks while leveraging its technological and industrial strengths, presents a pathway to continued growth in an uncertain global environment.